Deep beneath your feet lies a ball of iron as hot as the surface of the sun. Right now, you are standing on a thin shell of rock, floating over a world you have never seen. If you could dig straight down, you would pass through everything you know in the first few miles, and then keep going for thousands more. The deepest hole humans have ever drilled reaches only about 12 kilometers, barely a scratch in the planet's skin. Below that lies a journey of more than 6,000 kilometers to the center, through a world of unimaginable heat and pressure. No one has ever been there, and no machine ever could, and yet we know, in astonishing detail, what waits below. We read the inside of the Earth the way a doctor reads a body, listening to the waves that ripple through it after every earthquake. Descend past the crust, and you enter the mantle, a vast layer of rock so hot it slowly flows like thick, glowing syrup. It is this churning rock that carries the continents on its back and feeds every volcano on the surface. But keep falling, nearly 3,000 kilometers down, and you reach something far stranger, the edge of the core. Here, the temperature climbs toward 5,000 degrees and beyond, roughly as hot as the glowing surface of the sun. Think about that. Hidden at the center of our cool blue planet is a furnace that rivals a star. This heat is partly ancient, left over from the violent birth of the Earth 4.5 billion years ago. And it is partly alive, fed by tiny amounts of radioactive elements quietly decaying deep within the rock. That heat has been leaking slowly outward ever since, and it powers almost everything that makes our world restless and alive. The core itself is not one thing, but two, an outer core and an inner core, both made mostly of iron and nickel. The outer core is liquid metal, an ocean of molten iron thousands of kilometers deep, swirling endlessly in the dark. We know it is liquid from the way earthquakes behave, because certain waves simply vanish when they reach it, unable to pass through. But at the very center lies one of the strangest objects in the whole planet, the solid inner core. Here the temperature rivals the surface of the sun, far hotter than anything needed to melt the metal in your hand. And yet this iron is not liquid at all. It is solid, a vast metal sphere nearly the size of a small planet. The secret is pressure at the center of the Earth. The weight of the entire world bears down with crushing force. That pressure is over 3 million times the air pressure at the surface, squeezing the iron so hard it cannot melt. So the inner core stays solid not because it is cool, but because it is trapped, held firm by sheer weight rather than by cold. And slowly, over billions of years, this iron heart has been growing as the outer core cools and freezes onto it atom by atom. Now here is where the story turns from strange to almost miraculous. That ocean of liquid metal in the outer core is never still. It is always moving, rising and sinking as heat escapes. And as the Earth spins, this restless metal is twisted into great spiraling currents far beneath our feet. Moving metal creates magnetism, and this immense, swirling engine turns our entire planet into a single giant magnet. Scientists call it the geodynamo, and it fills the space around the Earth with an invisible magnetic field. That field is the reason a compass needle always swings to find the north. It is feeling the pull of the core itself. But guiding a traveler home is the smallest thing this shield does for us. High above, the sun is constantly blasting out a storm of charged particles, a solar wind that never stops. Left unshielded, that radiation could slowly strip away our air and water, leaving the planet bare. The magnetic field wraps around the Earth like an invisible cloak, catching that storm and steering it safely around us. When you see the northern lights shimmer across the night, you are watching that quiet battle play out. Those glowing curtains are solar particles funneled down toward the poles by the very field our iron core creates. So the beauty of the aurora and the survival of all life share the same hidden source, thousands of kilometers below. But this shield is not fixed or perfectly steady. It drifts, it weakens, and now and then it does something astonishing. Every so often, over thousands of years, the whole magnetic field grows faint and then flips completely. North becomes south, and south becomes north, and a compass that once pointed up would slowly turn around. It sounds like science fiction, yet the Earth has done exactly this hundreds of times in its long history. We know because the rock remembers. As molten lava cools, it locks in the direction of the field like a frozen snapshot. Along the ocean floor, these frozen records form matching stripes, a barcode of ancient flips written in stone. The last full reversal happened around 780,000 years ago, long before any human history. There is nothing to fear from it, though it would unfold far too slowly to feel over many human lifetimes. But it is a quiet reminder that the ground beneath us is not solid certainty, but a living, changing thing. All of this heat and motion does something even greater. It keeps the entire planet alive. The warmth rising from the core stirs the mantle, and that slow churning drives the great plates of the crust. It is this hidden engine that raises mountains, opens oceans, and shakes the ground in earthquakes. Every volcano, every drifting continent, every new island is ultimately powered by that furnace at the center. Without it, the surface would fall silent and still, a frozen shell, unchanging for eternity. To see what that fate looks like, we only have to glance across at our neighbor, Mars. Mars was once a warmer world with a molten core and a magnetic shield much like our own. But being smaller, it cooled far faster, and long ago its inner fire began to fade and die. As its core stilled, its magnetic shield collapsed, and the solar wind slowly tore its atmosphere away. The rivers dried, the air grew thin, and a once living world became the cold red desert we see today. Earth escaped that fate for one reason. Our iron heart is still burning, still spinning, still protecting us. So the next time you feel solid ground beneath your feet, remember what is really down there. Not empty stone, but a hidden sun of iron thousands of kilometers below, blazing in total darkness. It builds our mountains, it guides our compasses, and it paints our skies with light. And above all, it wraps our fragile world in an invisible shield, holding our air and oceans safe against the void. Everything you have ever loved lives in the thin, green skin of a planet kept alive by the fire at its core. Follow Worth Knowing for more things worth knowing.